Hey, what's going on everyone? Zeta here. Welcome back to another video. I hope you are all doing well, and I hope everyone is, happy and doing alright in life. So on this channel, I'm actually a big fan of talking about, big ideas and stuff and big things that are coming. But today, I actually have something that I kind of disagree with, but I think it could be made into a positive if taken the right steps. And assuming you guys know what I'm talking about, because you guys have obviously clicked the thumbnail, and we'll be talking about events in For Honor and how I feel like they're a wasted potential and how it's just dead money and dead time, dead everything that they're putting into it that just doesn't amount to anything. But before we get into it, guys, be sure to leave a like and subscribe because I'd really appreciate you sticking around and joining the crew. With For Honor's player base being so small as it is, I believe it's like 20% of Rainbow Six Siege's player base, which is a bit of a, it is what it is really. There's not a lot of people playing this game. And yet, the developers are putting time, money, and effort into the events. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some events that are really fun, and I have had, fun personally playing them. For example, I did a video a couple months ago where I was playing in Ice Brawls. So yeah, events have their place, which are really good, but I don't think they should be investing so much time, money, effort into the whole idea of these events, because that time, money, and effort could be spent elsewhere, like maybe making a new map, maybe making new armor, anything, that whole wing as a whole could be doing so much more, yet they just make events that just end up being dead after about 2 hours of them being uploaded. Look at this new one that they've just brought out. It's a brand new event, never seen before, I believe, and it's called Eclipse. This event is called Eclipse, and yeah, I played it once. It was quite interesting at first, where you have to fight over the forge and then fight the enemy boss. It's kind of cool, but it's just, no one's playing that, guys. No one is playing that. On the first maybe 5-6 hours, it was high activity, but now for the next 20 days, it's just going to be low activity. No one, I repeat, next to no one is going to be touching it. Maybe the odd 1 or 2 people may like it, but yeah, for the most part, no one is playing that event. And I think that is an absolute disgrace. I think that they could do so much more if they just changed a few things. So I have 2 ideas that I think could work pretty well, but at the same time, one of them isn't really the best outcome for one team of people, yet the other idea is, well, harder to do. So my first idea is just remove the whole idea of events as a whole. So there's no more events, no more events that inevitably end up with no one playing them, and maybe just use the event page for things like testing grounds. So whenever there's a testing ground, that's the only thing that will pop up. Now there are a lot of pros and cons of this. The pros are obviously they can focus more on the testing ground rather than actually having to work on these little events that no one's going to play. But there are also some cons. There are genuinely people out there who do like the events. It may be the odd 1 or 2 person, but it's still technically a person who likes the events. But for the majority, most people play the event and then go straight back to Dominion or Breach or whatever they play, duels, brawls, anything. But the biggest con of this side of the idea is that obviously, some people occasionally want to play an event. For example, I would miss Ice Brawlers. I wouldn't mind playing that as a game mode. I would miss Dance of Death. Those are the 2 the 2 events that I really liked when they were, being hosted. But for the most part, no one is playing the events. Unfortunately, it's really sad to say, but yeah, no one's playing the events. So that was my first idea. My second idea is make it so where there are less events. However, within that event, there's got to be something that affects the whole game going forward. So a new map, new feat ideas that you have, new anything. So basically, every event is like a testing ground, essentially. There'll be less of the events. A good thing about this is that it will give people more reason to actually play the event and actually invest a bit of time into it, because obviously what is in that event is something that could be coming to the game. So new feat ideas that you have, new new maps, anything, you know, even a new game mode, like that could be in the event, which is going to affect the game going forward. So that was one of the big things why I would click on the event, because the event would play a big part in the game if we give it, you know, the right reviews, basically. The only downside to this is there would be a lot less of extra things going on, like outside of Dominion, which isn't that bad of a negative, because people don't really care about the events. I know, and it's hard to, like, it's a bit sad to say, but no one really cares about the events, guys. No one. So for the most part, what they need to do is they need to add some form of reason for me to play the events, or people to play the events, which is why I suggest they do it so where there's something in that event that affects the game going forward. So like a new map, again, you know, as I've said. It's quite sad, because I think the game would be at such a better place if they just took the money and the time that they've invested into these events and stuff on the side and put them into other things that are slacking. So yeah, like characters, like balancing the game, you know, balancing feats, balancing maps, you know, listening to the community, even like get a team of people who listen to the community and respond to the community. So yeah, that's my take on that. So in conclusion, I really don't like the events. I think they are draining the resources, like the limited resources we have for the game anyway. And I think they should do something different and host them differently, so more and more people are interested. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little ramble. I know it was a bit of a rant more than a ramble, but yeah. If you're new around here, please leave a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.